सजना ओ सजना मैंने तुझसे प्यार किया पूरा हुआ मेरा सपना प्यार है सपना सजना ओ सजना मैंने तुझसे प्यार किया मैंने तुझसे प्यार किया तू ही है अब ख्वाबों में मेरे तू ही है अब ख्वाबों में मेरे चाहूं तुझको सांझ सवेरे छोड़ ना देना मुझको सनम छोड़ ना देना मुझको सनम साथ निभाना अपना सजना ओ सजना मैंने तुझसे प्यार किया मैंने तुझसे प्यार किया जीवन भर ये प्यार हमारा जीवन भर ये प्यार हमारा बन के रहेगा अपना सहारा टूट न पाए अब ये कसम टूट न पाए अब ये कसम प्यार न बदले अपना सजना ओ सजना मैंने तुझसे प्यार किया मैंने तुझसे प्यार किया तेरा प्यार है दुनिया में तेरा प्यार है दुनिया में तू ना मिला तो मर जाऊंगी साथ रहे हम जन्म जन्म साथ रहे हम जन्म जन्म साथ न छूटे अपना सजना ओ सजना मैंने तुझसे प्यार किया 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 मैंने तुझसे प्यार किया
मैंने तुझसे प्यार किया
What a flirt.
Dulahin, I don't know what that means, but I would love to know. Probably tonight, our guest could know. But good evening and welcome to From Our Hearts with Radhika and Ken on Island Zone Radio. As you can see, the arrangement is different today. Radhika Olarte, my co-host, is in the in charge seat, and then we have the beautiful Miss Trinidad and Tobago, Miss V. Ramprasad. I want to say a very special welcome to you. to New York and into our studio. As you know that I've known you for some time, we have been communicating, and I have always wanted to interview you. But because you are in Trinidad, but the good thing is that you are living right in my backyard. You could pelt a stone and reach by me. Anyway, my co-host, how are you doing today?
I am doing fine. I'm doing fine. Peachy, peachy.
Uh-huh.
On this wonderful, beautiful summer. Are we in summer yet?
We are
Spring
in
evening.
summer.
Yeah.
Yes, and now we have
From your yard, it's spring and summer.
summer. Always, it's hot here.
Yeah.
So, Miss Trinidad, thank you very much and welcome again.
Thank you
How
so
are
much for
you
having
doing?
me here. I'm actually doing pretty good.
You look
And
beautiful, by the way,
thank you so
like
very
Miss
much.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
So, hello, viewers. How's it going today? A warm welcome and a hearty thank you to all of you for choosing to spend the next 1.5 hours with us here from our hearts with Radhika and Ken on Island Zone Radio. A huge thank you to all of you, our from our hearts with Radhika and Ken family and friends. Today, as Ken said, it's an honor and a privilege to have with us this beautiful young lady here, Vicky Rampersad. We will call her V today,
Yes.
Right, right.
right?
Make it easy.
Yeah. She's a social and community activist in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, I am.
And I just learned she's also a singer, a dancer, a cook, and a makeup artist. I would love for you to move to New York. We can use a lot
She
of
she moved.
that.
She now
Oh,
moved a
you
month.
moved.
Yeah.
Oh,
We can talk
all
about all of
right.
that too. What she could
Mm,
do, right?
right, yeah. So V is the owner and managing director at Rick's Pest Control. V, welcome and thank you again for gracing our studio. Welcome to our show this beautiful evening, and we are absolutely, truly delighted to have you on the show
Thank
this
you so
evening.
much, guys, for having me. I am really honored to be here and hopefully inspire more people, more women to come out, be proud of their culture, be proud of who they are, and to keep moving up, forward.
Right,
So,
Yes.
the name is Vicky Rampersad,
right.
Uh-huh.
and you're Hiram Kenneth Rampersad.
The only
Huh?
problem is that it's spelled different. Mine is SAUD and hers is SAD.
Well, actually, my dad spells SAUD and I spells SAD.
We
So
got to
I.
do a DNA here now.
I don't
And
know.
she looked like me, hey, a little, no, no, I'm not that
So
good
I
looking,
was
so.
wondering, but Daddy, how come you spell your name RAMPRCUD and I spell SAD, and we kept it like that? So he, in back in Trinidad is a lot of stuff when you see you have different spellings of names.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Guyana too.
change the names. So change
Oh
the name
yeah,
is
yeah.
usually a big problem.
Yes.
But in Guyana too, what happened
Mm.
is that the Indian names are so difficult to write
Yes.
that we have the same problem too in
Yeah.
Guyana. The names, the last names, especially the Indian names, are so different, and they
Yeah.
use it as their son. So it is something that goes on. So what I'm gonna say is maybe you guys had family
You
together.
never
You're
know.
coming from
Never
India,
Yes.
know.
You
right?
never know.
And y'all may be related all the way back from the ancestorship,
That's
right?
right.
Yes.
And I'm a firm believer that we should never ever forget our roots. So first of all, Vicky,
Hmm.
tell us where were you born?
I was born in South Trinidad. To my parents is Ricky Rampasad and Sandra Rampasad. And
Ah,
yeah, deep south.
Shagwala side?
No, south like
Faizabad side or
oh, not
something?
so far,
Oh,
not
that's
so
so far.
far.
All right.
Down like in the countryside area of Barrackpore.
Barapo. All right. Go
Yes, yeah.
ahead.
So I
wow,
was, yeah,
nice.
and I for 40 years I born, I grew in Barrackpore. It's a beautiful community. It has, the people, the culture. We always kept the culture alive. So big up to Barrackpore in
All right.
Trinidad.
Beautiful. I
You know.
see you do keep the culture. I love your sindoor. I just
Yes.
love it. Yes,
Yes.
I love
My
that.
parents, my mom, my uncles were singer. He did classical singing. He taught me how to sing. We did dancing and acting. We grew up in the temple and Ramayana groups. So I have always loved the culture that I grew up in, and I adapt to other cultures. even with Christianity and Islam. I love learning about people's culture. And it's good that when we can keep our culture alive and pass it on to our future, our kids. And that's exactly what I'm doing because I'm also the mom of a 17-year-old
I see.
daughter
Yeah.
and a 15-year-old
All
son.
right.
So
You
I,
look 17 though. How that? You look young. All right, good.
yeah. So I try to teach them tradition as well as, when you upkeep it because in this modern times, there's a lot of children, there's a lot of the future generation, they are not being taught much about the culture and about standing firm on beliefs. And this is something we should practice and teach our children
Right.
morals, values. Now, we learn to cook from a young age.
Right, right.
Some of the kids nowadays, they don't want to cook, they don't want to, everything is technology.
Right.
So even though I would say to mothers and parents out there, even though we have technology, which is good, and we want our kids to be advanced in it, we
Right.
also want them to remember their roots, their backgrounds, traditions,
You
and
good
continue
for
with
you.
it.
You're grounded. That's a great thing.
Yes.
So you said you grew up in the countryside, in the
Yeah.
village, right?
My grandparents, they were cane farmers. They cut cane, plant garden, and I used to be a part of it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
Wow,
wow.
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. Last week we had a big show on the
Mhm.
Immigration Day, Indian Immigration
Uh
Day.
huh.
I'm not sure if my mic is
Wait.
working.
Go ahead. Talk, talk. You got to talk.
Testing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
got to keep it close to your
So,
mouth. Yeah.
yeah. So you did say that you're married, and how was it growing up in your village, though?
It was a lot of struggles. People had a lot of struggles. In those days, my grandparents, they had bull cart and stuff.
Look, yeah.
Yes,
The
so that,
cow. You have a cow.
yeah,
All
so
right.
that used to be exciting for us to get on that bull cart, to go down on the road, go to the cane fields and stuff. But it was a lot of struggle. A lot of people didn't have electricity, they didn't have proper water access. And as time goes by, it has gotten better, but unfortunately, w- Trinidad was moving forward, but we have started to move backward.
Oh, God.
And it's unfortunate. And sometimes you see people giving up, and what I would say to people, don't give up. There are always ways and means of finding things to do and changing it. It all depends on the individual.
Right, right.
You understand?
Choices. I read
Yes.
your, yeah, I did read your post on choices. And
Yes.
that's as you say, choices. In my parents come from a very remote, my dad comes from a remote village.
Mhm.
And I've been told lately that what's going on there,
Yeah.
it's people are going back there. It's creeks, it's farmland, and it's fishing.
Yeah.
And people go back there. There's so many resorts going up in
Right,
that
right.
little
Yeah.
village that was given to my grandfather in the 1800s,
All right.
which was flooded land,
Yeah.
land that had no, he was given that land that had no value actually at the time.
Right, right.
And now there are so many resorts and everything go up in
And
that
one
place.
thing I would say, nothing is wrong with having resorts, but still keep part of
Yes.
that alive.
Well, that is what they're
You
doing,
understand? Like,
maintaining the
right,
environment.
have the ponds, the
Yes.
fishings,
Yes. Yes.
still introduce the culture, let people remember what it used to be like, even though you're doing certain things to upgrade.
And I like that because you seem to be very culturally connected
Oh,
and you're
yes.
taking it on to the next generation.
And I
Yeah.
connect with her there because I used to spend vacations with my grandfather, and there was no there was no
Mm-mm.
refrigerator, nor no electricity there. There was a generator that they would put on in the night, like for 2 hours.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah,
I grew up with flambeau.
mhm.
And we used to look forward to the evenings and the
Oh,
place is
really?
dark and that flambeau light.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, and we used
It's
to be
beautiful.
fine,
It
spending
was,
time with
yeah.
cousins together, having nights overs on weekend, and doing the sort of thing, going to the river, to the park, catching fish, those sort of
Look how
things.
she light up when she talking these
Yes,
things.
no,
Good for you.
that
Good.
was
I enjoyed
beautiful.
my childhood. It's unforgettable. I had really good childhood days. And I'm grateful for my parents for that because they allowed us to be normal children. Even though we didn't grow up with much, we stayed contented, humble. Even though we appreciate what we have today, we remember our hard times. And however, that is my motivation when now that I see people struggling, I try to find ways to help them, to motivate them, to give them some sort of encouragement that something is going to take place for better. Do not lose hope.
That's
That
good.
is,
I just got a text. Um, Roger would like to know who this beautiful girl is, and so Roger, you tune in late, but let me tell you
Roger.
a little bit.
Let us have her introduce herself now. Then,
You
yes.
want to talk, but let me put this piece, and then we'll let you talk.
No
So
problem.
Roger, this V is from Trinidad, and what happened a couple of years ago, she's a YouTube, Facebook star in my book. And what happened is that I used to listen to her live that she would conduct now and again. And I would listen to it, and I said to myself, you know what? This girl, he sounds like she's very smart, and she was on point in dealing with everyday life story and problem and so on. And I said to myself, and you know what? I always tell people that I like to bring people on this show who could make a difference in other people's life, who are star in their own right, and she is a star in her own right. She moved since from Trinidad in one month, and now she's residing right here in Queens, New York. So, tell them a little bit more about your dance and all these kind of your dance.
Yeah. Okay, so I a couple years ago before COVID, I had worked for a company with news and stuff and seeing what people were actually going through. And it was not being pushed out to the public, so people were not aware of what was taking place. So I decided to start a Facebook page. And if you guys go onto Facebook, you will see there's a page called trio.tt, another one called United for Change, and I am also the chairman of Women Warriors of Trinidad and Tobago.
Warrior.
Yes.
All right.
And all those pages where you come across, you will see the struggles of people in Trinidad and things that they are going through and how much we try to help them and build them up. So when I saw all this advantage taking place, I said, and nobody's speaking out. People are so afraid because I was even growing up was scared of speaking out because I am a victim of abuse. I'm a victim. I was attacked on more than one occasion.
Oh wow.
But what I would say to people on this, regardless of sometimes you go through bad things in life, do not let it ever break you. Let it motivate you to become a stronger person and use that to move forward in life. And trust me, I've done that and it helped me to become a more brave and outspoken person, standing up for the right when you necessarily need to.
All right.
I totally agree with that. Let that be your stepping stones.
Yeah.
Right. So let's do a couple of shout outs. We have Hafiza Khan. Good evening to you. Good night to you, Hafiza. Anita Ish Daulatram, all the way from Canada. Happy birthday to you as well. Debbie Narain Castro. Good evening, sister. Nafisa Noor. Good evening, my dear. Good evening, and yes, thank you for tuning in. We also have Devika Prasad, my Pua, all the way from Orlando. Thank you, Pua, for logging on. And Mr. Roger Singh, how are you doing?
And I know he
And
has his wife there by him listening too. So a
okay.
special hello to your beautiful wife Zabida, and thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, so V, let's go back a little bit.
Sure.
I know Ken has been following your videos for a time, and I watched a few today. Very interesting.
Mhm.
And one of the first one I saw is a topic that has been bothering me for a while: trust and
Yeah.
telling secrets to friends. Right?
Yes.
You said your advice was to speak to God and not confide too much in friends.
Yes.
I learned that the hard way recently.
Mhm.
So I have found out that friends come under the covering of the sheep clothing sometimes to get the information from you and then revert to their wolf clothing, changing
Yes.
around whatever you said to suit their schemes, right?
Yes.
What advice or enlightenment can you give us on this?
Pertaining to trust now, as they say, trust take many years to build, and in the blink of an eye, you lose that trust in people. And as you said, I am also a victim of that. Putting trust and confiding in certain individuals, and they would take your most hurtful information, and they will put it out all there without consideration of how you're feeling and what you would do. And from that experience, as I said, I'm a religious person. I'm close to God, and I always, everything that I do, I ask God for guidance.
Oh, wow.
And sometimes I go through issues and problems, and what my advice would be to others, you see, sometimes you're going through problems and issues, you get frustrated, you're depressed, you're stressed out. You sit down. You don't have to put your hands together and say, God, I'm praying. You don't have to close your eyes. Sometimes your parents, the same way you would speak to your parents, you could sit down and speak to God in that same way and tell God your problems. And while you speaking to God about those problems, you sometimes instantly get that sort of guidance and that strength to figure out in that space of time what you can do and how you can change things about yourself. And it will also open up your eyes on how you trust people and give you a guidance as to know when there's a red flag. So sometimes speaking to God, speaking by yourself in a room, privately, it could be your temple, your masjid, your little church, and you're just speaking. That by itself, letting it out, it kind of give you the strength and the morals to just, hey, feel that calm, positive energy. And at no time you must ever allow yourself to be consumed with negativity. Take that negativity and turn it into positivity and keep moving forward. Do not let, I always say the haters are the motivators, and the more they try to say, you're not good enough, you're not beautiful, you just smile and say, thank you. You use that, and one day, those same words, they can't say anything. You continue moving forward. Never let people put their mouth on you or their downfall for you, allow it to consume you. You rise above that level, shine, and keep moving forward. Then you do not give them a reason to talk. You can never in life allow people to degrade you and put you down, or else you will never go anywhere in life.
Wow. Very deep that thought. And I
Yeah.
have to say, I'm one of those persons who put God before everything else.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
morning I go, I pray, I talk to my God. I'm talking about religion, right? Pandit Ramdat, Sitaram Panditji, and thank you for logging on. He's sending a message. All are invited to attend the 3 sessions of Gyan Satsang on June 27th, 28th, and 29th. 6 p.m. nightly. The address is 100 30 196th Street in Hollis, New York, 114323. And I will be there on the 29th. I will be attending the Yajna on the 29th. I was asked by Panditji to go there. So thank you, Panditji, for inviting me. And that's the night I will surely be there. Whoever, it's going to be, Panditji is very learned, and I would like to invite everybody on behalf of
I probably
Ken,
could go in one day
myself,
too.
yeah, and of course V as well, right?
Yes,
You are all
definitely.
invited. It's not too far from here.
Mm.
So, yes, once again, Debbie, thank you for being for logging on. David M. Singh, thank you, and Jai Sitaram to you as well. Rowena, good night and happy fifth anniversary to Island Zone Radio. Yeah, you are our manager there. Thank you for doing all that you do. And David Singh, yeah. Oh, okay. Jai Sri Ran to Sister Rowena and family. Anita Dowlatram, all the way from Canada. Yes. So we will go on with the next question.
One second. We got Miss Nashima Rohaman is watching from Canada. You know, Radhika, I want to ask one question to this young lady. She seems, not she seems, she is very articulate. She is very learned. And, like I said, you are the chief today. You will, I am just going to put in question here and there. But I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
How come, and our guests, they love you the way that you're talking. So my question to you is, how did you become or evolve into this beautiful soul, and that you have all this wisdom, could speak like this in such a positive tone?
Because I've seen the struggles of my parents,
Oh.
I've seen the sacrifices they've made, my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles. I have seen struggles of people in my community that I live around, and nobody was there to defend them.
Oh,
Nobody was there to stand up and um, take care of them and do stuff for them. And I will always say my mother is my inspiration.
oh,
She's extremely strong, and to this day, we have an extremely close relationship.
oh.
And she has always been a humble, simple person. She had to stop school in primary school, so she never really got the chance to educate herself. And I know if she did, she would have done great.
Right, right.
And every single value that I have and I continue to grow with, my mom has taught me that. She has taught me how to be kind and s- respectful and look around me and always be attentive of my surroundings and speak about friends and everything that mom always said to me, it stayed with me.
Oh, good
And
for
as
you.
I grew older, I would walk in that pathway. I would see things the way she sacrificed for the family. And I told myself I would do the same. And I have been doing that when it comes to my children, when it comes to myself, and motivating other women who have seen struggling so much and they don't know where to turn. I always try to give them some hope and advice that they are going to make it, they are going to be okay because I've been a single mom for 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and I made it. I did, and I teach my daughter independence, my son as well, but I also teach them about respecting older people, respect everyone around them, but at the same time, you stand and defend yourself when you need to in the right way.
Right, right, right.
So this has elevated me to how I am today. And in spite of being brave and outspoken and strong, I still keep myself humble and simple and try to be at peace because you see, when someone takes away that peace, it's very difficult to be a calm person. And I've been in situations already where the advantage is so real out there, and to see how sometimes you can't say anything. And I said, no, you can always defend yourself. You just have to know how to deal with the situation. It never has to turn violent. And that is what seeing all these things women go through. And then my mom too, she, certain things she would go through in her life and she would not speak out for herself. And she was my main motivation. I am going to stand up for people in my community. I am going to stand up for the senior citizens. I am going to stand up for parents, for children, and motivate mothers to be better mothers. Nobody's perfect in this world. But again, every day is a learning process. Is either we want to learn or we don't. And this, as we gradually grow older, it helps us to become better humans.
Admirable, admirable indeed. Yes, and that's what we need more people to do. And you're an example. You're an example teaching each and everyone who looks at your video what we should be doing for each and everyone, our friends, our
Yes.
family, and even if we don't know them, we should extend the hand. And that is
Yeah.
what we try to promote very much so too, right? Another one of your video I saw that you say do not, like a married couple, you give an advice, do not live with your in-laws.
Hmm.
Yes, and that is, I think that is a very Ken is smiling.
It have good and bad to that
It have
particular.
good
Yes.
and
You
bad.
just have to know.
Mm. Yes, there is good and bad. Can you expand a little bit on that?
Yes,
But
definitely.
wait, before she go,
Yeah.
and me and Miss Rampazad could run this for whole one day. We could talk about this whole thing. But you run the rhythm, my dear.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so when it comes to that, now I will always say a man, allow a man to be a man. You live in your parents' house, and I mentioned that on the a video I had posted. If you when you either live in your parents' home, and when it's not your parents' home, let it try to be your own.
Right.
right? Because we have seen in cases, there are some cases where some son in laws would live with their in laws and it would be like parent child relationship. But very rare you will find that. And I always believe when you're an older woman and you become a man and you become a woman, you have to adapt to responsibility and understand, listen, I'm getting married, I have a companion. I shouldn't be living with parents or in laws. Be independent, have your own. Now, in some circumstances, financially, you have no other choice. But also, let it be your motivation to not be in that situation for too long. Because you want, everybody likes their privacy. You want to be able to be comfortable in your own home. But sometimes there's a situation where son in law would live in their mother in law and father in law's home and they lose all their respect. They have to abide with all their rules and regulations, and at the end of the day they wouldn't want to be disrespectful to their wives' parents, but at the same time a man needs to be a man and be responsible for his family and himself. And that independence should not be taken away from a man. And as a woman, when I always believe when you're in a relationship with somebody, it's about equal
Equal
rights
rights.
and respect for one another. Otherwise, things can't work. And I
Mhm.
have seen my father from nothing, and my mother stood with him through thick and thin to where they are today. And she've always supported him, respected him, and elevated him in life. She
Wow.
taught me the same value, and that is what I go with every single day. So that is what I see when it comes to in laws, because not again, sometimes we are fortunate and sometimes we are unfortunate. So we have to see when there are red flags and know when to say, this is where I draw the line. Listen, I appreciate that you guys have welcomed me into your home, but it is my duty to provide for my family and have my own place.
That reminds me of a friend of mine. Trinidad has a lot of the same customs like we have in Guyana. And one of the thing, I had a friend. He got married. This was years ago. He got married, and he said the first week after the wedding, when he came home, he got his money, he got his pay, and when he comes home, he didn't know who he was supposed to give the money to, his mother or his wife,
Right.
His
right?
wife, let me answer for it.
So, so he gave the money to his wife, but right away, the mother was very upset, and she said, "No, if the wife is getting the money, you guys have to go on your own." And she put them out. She put them out because he gave the
Mm.
money. So it is a tough question for that. So
And one advice I would give to guys today, and I've seen it with a few of them in my community, when you know you want to take a wife, be able that you are you're man enough. You can stand up, you can be independent on your own 2 feet before you make that decision to want to get married and start a family. Put yourself in place. And I've been seeing a lot of young couples doing that. That sometimes when they get married, they go straight into their own homes. So you know nothing is wrong. You start young, you start saving, and you sit down and think about what you want for your future and how you're going to adapt to this. And because again, sometimes you reach to in-laws that may not like you, or they would. So you have to be able to deal with the and
adapt to it.
adapt. So to prevent this and always to have a good family lifestyle and nobody pulling and tugging and you have disputes, when you're on your own, you could maintain that relation.
I this is something I don't really want to talk about because it's a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you this, and from my experience, I think, and I totally agree with you. That you come, you afterwards, and I'm thinking a lot as I'm speaking about on this topic. But one of the things that you have to be is to be respectful to people and their space.
Yes.
You know, from the time, no matter whoever you live with, your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, auntie, poo, whoever it is, or what you call them, tanti in Trinidad, we
Yeah,
say, right?
yes.
You have to be respectful.
All the
You know what I'm
time.
saying?
Yeah.
And it do cause a lot of problems with, when you have a lot of people around, and especially there's a lot of gossiping that's going on.
Exactly. So that is where again you have to know where to draw the line. There are certain things you keep to yourself, and those things, as I say, you talk to God. You will get the guidance. You will be surprised because I'm living proof of that. Sit down and talk to God, and by the time you finish, express what you're going through and what you're feeling. You sort of sometimes get answers. You get a little bit of comfort to be able to, hey, you know something. I'm gonna do this. So it helps. So there are certain things you have to keep to yourself. As much as you may want to say something to somebody, they use that as weapon to take you apart, and you don't want that.
But one of the things I want to tell people too is that as we're talking about this, you know, um, you should never give up that reign that you have, the head of the household. When
Yes.
you give up that, or you pass that baton to somebody else, then people do all manner of things to you.
A lot
You
of
have to
things.
stand up for yourself
Yes.
sometimes.
And you know what's another unfortunate thing is to see how much sacrifices parents make for children. And when these children are
Oh God.
educated and they get older, it's like parents are dogs on the side of the road, sorry to say. And that is something that hurts me so much to see that older people, you have your sons and your daughters cursing mother and father, disrespecting them raising hands. And one thing I always remember, do not ever put tears in your parents' eyes. That is the worst thing you could possibly do, regardless of what. Sometimes not everybody get along with your parents, but you have to choose your words wisely. Know what you are saying, because you can't take back those words after it has been said.
Mm.
So sometimes, you know what? Walk away, cool off, and come back and have a conversation. And I always say, as proper thinking adults, mature adults, we can sit and talk about things instead of having big dispute and confusion. There are always ways to deal with it than it coming down to that and regrets. And only when you see, God forbid, somebody pass away, then you come and no, you don't want that.
Oh God, Miss Trinidad and Tobago. But you know what?
As your compatriot Sundar Popo said, right?
Mm,
Never make your mother cry.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Never make
So
your mother sad. Never. Mm-mm-mm.
you're a
Yes,
singer.
oh
You can
yeah.
give us a little piece of that.
I am too familiar with
It's
all
all
the
right. Don't worry.
words,
Just a
but
little piece.
your mother's love should never forget the wrong things you do, child. You're born to regret.
All right,
You
you still
know?
got singing again. You're too much. You see, it's lucky we didn't cancel the show tonight. You know.
Yes, let's. I know, I know. I came, my leg is paining, but I can said we can't cancel tonight, right? So, Sabo Bodram, all the way from Canada. How are you doing, sis? Thank you for
She
logging
from
on.
Etobicoke.
Etobicoke.
Etobicoke,
Yeah.
yes. Let me see if she will
Okay.
tell me anything.
So Roger Singh and Sabida, they're saying they love tonight's guest. You're sharing a lot of humility, hope, compassion, and motivation to the viewers.
And that is
And
exactly what I came to do. I always like to inspire people and set a good example and
he,
say things that they would understand.
he says he loves that there's no negativity and living in the past here, that you're a winner.
Yeah. Thank you so
So
much.
Also,
thank you
Tara
for
Singh is
Sally
watching.
Deopal and my friend Ruth Sahadeo. Thank you for logging on. Nandrani Badrusin. Tara Singh, how are you, my dear? And my friend Debbie Narayan Castro. Yes, yes. Children do not respect their
Silik
parents.
Deopal. Good evening.
Savo, Tara Singh, and Tara
They love
Singh.
my guest, but guess what? While y'all talking and listening, they said, wonder when she's coming back. We could bring she back because she's not far from here. But let's go.
Yeah, I just want to ask you too. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's the reverse. You're the head of the household, but now you have your in-laws with you, and sometimes they make trouble. They're a little bit of a troublemaking in the
Mm.
marriage.
Yes.
Okay, so what advice do you give, like, to the son-in-law, the head of the household,
Mhm.
on those occasions? Should he just shush and and take it
Absolutely not.
easy.
Oh God, oi.
Absolutely not. You're not going to shush. But again, you can deal with this situation regardless of how you refer to them as mom and dad. However, and I believe as a son in law or daughter in law in a home, you do not call them by their names. You have to have respect. When I entered my in law's home, I would say mom and dad,
Mm-hmm.
and I would treat them the same way I treated my parents.
Oh.
I would not disrespect them. But again, you could say, listen, I would like to speak to you guys, and I just want us to have a understanding and a good relation. Now, this is my home, and there's some lines and brown boundaries to cross, and maybe sometimes you may not agree with certain things, but instead of being harsh and angry about it and having disputes, and you're getting the cold shoulder, you can come to me, we can sit and talk about it. No hush hush behind each other's back.
Oh
Let us
Jesus.
sit and speak about it and dissolve it there. And once we have issues, we comfortable enough to come to one another and have that conversation.
I totally agree with that. We should bring it out all in the open
Yes.
and cut the problem from the root
Yeah.
and move on from
Because
there.
they have this saying the elephant in the room. We don't want to have no elephant in the room.
Oh Lord,
And
oi.
all that is preserving relationship with everyone getting along, and you don't have this one and that one on the other side, and this one not speaking and that one, because I grew up in that atmosphere,
You
so I could,
did.
yes, I could tell your brothers and sisters fighting. And I always say, listen, we all came here with nothing. We are leaving with nothing. Be grateful for what you have while you are on this earth. Don't let materialistic things bother you. Preserve your love, preserve your parents, your brothers, your sisters, everyone that is close to you. Have that close relationship, but never allow materialistic things to come between that relationship. Forget about the land. We live in the land and go in. Is generations to come going and get that
True,
land. And
true.
that is what I go with. I always said, I do not envy what others have. I am happy to see people build themselves up from nothing to have something in life. Do not let other people's success bother you. Concentrate on your own success and ways to elevate yourself in life and have.
This is the girl
Exactly.
from Borough in Trinidad and
Barakpo,
Tobago.
yeah.
Borough oh God, oi. Listen, um,
Barakpo.
Borough. Anyway, you know what?
Bora, bara.
And I want to say that we have your husband here in studio. I want to say welcome to him too and thank him for um, allowing
Coming
you to
tonight.
come with us tonight to spend. He could have hugged you up in the bed and y'all could, but he chose
He's
to
a
come.
very supportive person, and I thank him every day
Did
for
it-
that. Yes, we support each other. We have a really good relationship,
Oh,
and
really?
yes, and we've been only married for 15 months,
Oh, God, oh,
Well,
it's
congratulations.
fire in the oven still.
Yeah, so we always have a understanding with each other, and one thing with him, I support him in everything that he likes to do and
Oh,
motivate him to move forward. He
yes.
does the same for me, and we always would sit and said, you know what, let us always be this way with one another,
Oh.
talk and do things together, and have that relation that regardless of how bad the truth is sometimes, come out and tell each other the truth and
Move forward.
move
But let me
forward.
ask you something. He
Yeah.
looked like a quiet boy. So, I see you turn up your eyes just now. But let me ask you something.
Yeah.
When I get wrong, who's the first one to make up?
Actually, we don't have arguments of nothing. We
Oh,
just
really?
have discussions.
Oh, God, oh. Hey, you too much for me. I can't deal
Yes,
with
we
you.
Leave
have
him alone.
discussion. And I will tell people this. Sometimes you just know when you meet your match.
Uh-uh.
Regardless of it may take you 10 years,
Chigyam,
15 years,
meet your
20
match.
years. Yes. You see once two people together and is bacchanal and argument with each other, something wrong. But the other person, regardless of how angry you may be, and you see that person could give you calm, that's the person for you. And I could be how angry and annoyed. And from the time he come talk to me or he look at me, he have this way of calming me.
Oh, God, oh, that love, baby. It's love at first sight.
As she said, you meet the right person.
Yes.
So
Just
we,
wait for that right
this interview
person.
got to go in a different direction now. No, where you meet this quiet boy,
In
how
Trinidad.
but he live in America.
Yeah.
He come walk in Trinidad, and he see this pretty girl, and who approach who first?
Him. He did.
How the story go? Let me get to a piece.
He did. He tried to reach out to me for a while, and I was just like, not really looking for anybody
Right.
and just concentrating on what I had to do because I had to be so busy with my kids, with my social media, with charity, trying to help the poor community, trying to get work done in the community, going to the hospitals, trying to see what I can get done there. And it wasn't like I was taken by surprise with him, and then I said, you know what? I do not like to be disrespectful to people. Regardless of what, if it's just to say hi,
Right.
I would say hi because I'm not a stush person or,
Right. Right.
no, humble, you smile, you say, if somebody disrespect you, you don't have to disrespect them back, or you simply make your statement and no disrespect on you, go on your way.
Oh God. Yeah.
But he was very pleasant and respectful, and we started having simple conversations and talking, and I felt comfortable, and he was just as humble as me, even though he moved here so many years ago.
Right.
Very humble, and that caught me that this person is not about full of himself and what materialistic things. He's all about being humble and having a peace of mind. And
Oh.
so
Perfect teamwork.
one thing, yeah.
But you know what? He lucky too. He get a, like the Bible say, when you get a good wife and you get a good husband, so you get a good thing. He's smart too. When you look at her, she's a sunlight, so that sunlight bright the eye out, But that's good. I'm so glad that, because a lot of times in life you don't find that.
No.
You always find this one like fight with that one and the cussing
Yeah.
out and all kind of thing.
And one advice I would give to married couples, sometimes we discuss problems on ourselves. We we take for granted our partners. We don't know
Can you
what.
preach, baby? This.
Yes, we take a lot of women today, you take your partners for granted and you allow third parties to come in,
Mhm.
right? And this is where we need to stop. We need to evaluate ourselves and see where we are making mistakes. And I am telling you, as a grown woman, it is not, nothing is wrong with correcting yourself or being corrected if you are wrong.
Mhm.
Take your correction sometime, you want to take your corrections, but no, sometimes you take your corrections that help you to become a better human being
Right,
and a
right.
better a companion, whether you're a wife or a husband. So sit and find out, see what they like, what they don't like. Don't neglect them, don't take them for granted.
Mhm.
You understand? And it's the same thing. My parents, my mom, it always comes back to my mom to see the struggles my dad had in life, but she never gave up on him in spite of his ups and downs and his good and bad. She stuck with him, and she did what she had to make him a better human being. Now, it's either you can learn or you don't want to learn, and you will know as an individual. You will know if somebody wants to learn or not,
Right.
and whether you need to walk away or stay there. And I will always tell you, do not sacrifice your happiness for anybody else. Make yourself happy also, because too many times we see couples in relationship, they are so unhappy, they are so miserable, but they are staying. No, don't do that. Work it out, and if you can't work it out, walk away. Take it from me, I've been there, I've done that. And today, I would say something today. I don't live with enemy with people. My ex-husband and myself, we are best friends today.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. We co-parent extremely well.
Oh.
We speak every day,
Mm-mm.
and he's very good. They are friends. They get along, and it's a mutual understanding. And as it always comes back, when you're a responsible, respectful adult, you act maturely on specific things in life. When it comes to your children, like sometimes you remarry, your husband don't want you to have nothing to do with your ex-husband, but at the end of the day, you have kids together, so you need to know how to communicate with that
That's
individual and
yeah.
how to keep moving.
That's the father of your children, so you must
Yes.
maintain
Yes, and we look out for one another in ways we can help each other. And I would always help him. Sometimes you're married and things don't work out, but look at us today. We are best friends. We could talk about anything and have a conversation and not an argument or a misunderstanding.
that is maturity.
And
Yeah.
so we have Miss Linda Hustler is watching. Thank you very much. I think your friend is watching. Lizina,
Lazina, yes.
Lizina Carmelar,
Yeah,
Roger
Carmela,
Singh
yeah.
watching. Nadia Gani, good evening to you too. Susan Q. Hi, Vicky.
Ah, yes,
You're
yes.
so inspiring. Thank you very much. I want to play this special song for you. This song is one of my favorite, and so I don't want them to get too boring, but I know you're keeping them entertained. Let's
Oh
rock with
God.
this song for you.
Oh my goodness, my favorite singer too.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's actually
Natural
both of us.
beauty.
It's our
Oh, really?
yeah, Taurus rising.
Yeah, no, I never been someone
I have
shy
to play this song for him
until I seen your eyes. Still, I had to try. Yeah. Oh, yes. Let me get my words right and then approach you. Woman, I'll treat you like a man is supposed to. You'll never have to cry. No. I know everyone can relate to when they find a special someone. And she's royal, yeah, so royal. And I want her in my life. I never knew anyone so one of a kind. No, the way she moves to her own beat, she has the qualities of a queen. She's a queen. Ooh, ooh, what a natural beauty. No need no makeup to be a cutie. She's a queen. She's a queen. And when they ask what a good woman's made of, she's not afraid and ashamed of who she is. She's royal, yeah, so royal. And I need her in my life. I never knew anyone so one of a kind until the night that I seen your eyes. Oh, my queen, so supreme. I can see it in her eyes, the way she smiles. Hey, yes, I and I know the king and queen crown, same time. So I never leave your side. Just stick with me through the trial times. Oh, and she says she no mind. Alright, I know good man is hard to find. Cause she can't about that giant line. That's why she has no ties at this time. Yeah, I know many men are trying, but she needs to be more than wine and dine because she's royal, yeah, so royal, and I want her in my life. I never knew anyone so divine. Oh, the way she moves to her own beat. She has the qualities of a queen, so supreme. Ooh, ooh, what a natural beauty. No need no makeup to be a cutie. She's a queen,
Somebody from
so
Barco.
supreme. Yeah.
Zelina Mohammed.
And when they ask what a
From
good
Barco.
woman's made of, she's not afraid and ashamed of who she is.
Zelina Mohammed.
She's
Thank you for
royal,
watching.
yeah,
From
so
Barco, yeah.
royal. And I want her in my life. I never knew anyone
You know, some
so one of a
poets.
kind. No, no, the way she moves to her own beat, she has the quality.
Welcome back to From Our Hearts with Radhika and Ken on this special edition from this young lady who hails all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. And you call it what? Where are you from?
Barco. The
Barapo. Ah,
beautiful community of Barco. I want to say, hey, shout out to Zelina Mohammed, who is from watching from Barco. I'm not so familiar probably with face because I know so much people in Barco and people in Barco knows me pretty well. So thank you so much for coming on and supporting this program, guys. Continue to watch Island Zone
Radio.
Radio
From our
from
hearts with
yes,
from our hearts with Radhika and Ken this
can yeah.
evening. Also, thank you for logging on, Michael and Nalini Naidu. Welcome to the program. And we have so many questions for you today, and time is like rolling so fastly. Anyway, one of the questions I have for you: what is your take on like other family members trying to dictate how you should live your life?
No, that is something that happens every single day. And again, people need to respect your privacy. People need to respect your lives. Whether it's your brothers or sister, yes, sometimes you have brothers and sisters, they want to see you move up in life. They want you to have a better life. Then there's some will dictate you to the point that they want to see you lose everything. They do not want you to have better than what they have. And this envy and jealousy will never end.
Oh God.
And I want to say, when you will remember, it always comes back to tradition, to family when you were kids. You know, you had that childhood days of being together, can't be without each other, doing everything together. What happened? And sometimes I will tell you again, we allow a wife or a husband to come into our life and dictate that. You don't want your wife family around or you don't want your husband family around. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Siblings, come on. Life is too short. Today we here, tomorrow we don't know where we're going to be. And I think we could move beyond disagreements and envying each other, but build each other. And something I would say about my ex husband, his brothers and sisters, and I have learned a lot from them.
I could
And
tell.
I continue on with that, even though I'm not a part of their family anymore when it comes to being married to their brother. But that's my kids' aunt and uncle. They do everything possible they can for my children.
Oh,
They even do anything possible for me.
good for you.
And I have seen his big brother do everything possible to hold those siblings together. And they would go all out. They would take their last cent to make sure that each other is okay. And that is one thing I've noticed. And we don't have that happening. That unfortunately, I don't have brothers. I have one sister. She's younger than me. She will be here in September. She comes and visits and goes back. And I would say to anybody, I love my sister. I cherish her. And there isn't nothing in this world that I wouldn't do for her to make sure that she's always okay, regardless of what, you know.
Wow,
And
beautiful.
people need to sustain that relationship. Stop thinking about, oh, he have a better car than me, or he have. You have one. You be grateful. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for what your brother and sister have, and maintain that relationship. Stop envying and looking at what they have, and stop, you
Be
know,
happy for them.
yeah, the rumors and the gossip with one another. No. Yeah.
I just want to ask you to what are some of the things spouses complain about each other?
Oh gosh. Spouses complain the wife ain't cooking, she ain't cleaning,
Oh God.
she lazy, is only Indian show whole day, is these
Facebook,
no, this
TikTok.
how they call these soap
Mhm.
operas, and not spending time with the husband, or he only ignorant, he drinking, he only partying, he only studying friends. These are some of the things we constantly complain about. And again, it comes back to, you have the opportunity when you're choosing a spouse, when you're getting involved with somebody, you would see what they give to what they don't. And when you start living in house with them, then you know what they are like, you know.
You know the real person.
Yes.
Mhm.
So again, it always comes down to communication, discussion, learning about each other before you make that decision of being together. So you know whether it's going to work or not. Because when you marry, you want to spend that time together. You want to stay together. You're getting married to divorce. You
Hmm.
understand?
I like that.
You're getting married to get divorced.
Exactly. It's you want
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah, because if you know, hey, this can work with us, nothing is wrong as being friends and always having a relationship. It just can't work like that. Or else, even self, if you are married, y- communicate, talk, listen, you do this. Let us not do this. Let us try to find ways to deal with situations. And if you don't like something about me, and I would tell my husband, babe, if you don't like something about me, I want you to come and tell me. So if I'm making a mistake and it's not right, come and tell me so I would know not to make it again, not to keep doing the wrong thing. And when you truly care about somebody, you will correct them based on the wrong things they do.
So do you make that conscious effort to make that change?
Yeah, all the time.
All right.
Every day is a learning process. No human being on this earth is perfect. And everybody needs to understand sometimes we need to be corrected, regardless whether our mother corrects us, our father, our brother, sister, even a stranger. Nothing is wrong with taking correction.
Lots of time we do not realize when we're doing something wrong
Yeah,
unless somebody tells us as well.
yeah,
And that was our conversation a couple, I don't know, 2 days ago. We were talking about the same thing. And nobody is perfect, as you say. And, we need, if you see something, you tell me. If I see something,
yeah.
likewise with my husband, the same
Yeah, and it don't have
situation.
to be an argument. Like as I say, discussions. Hey, let me talk now. Let me tell you something. The other day, so, in a nice way, instead of just starting a unnecessary argument. Because let me tell you something. You see, when an argument starts, the argument continues to go and go and go, and it creates that elephant in the room, and you start distancing yourself from that individual, and you start going towards another person. You start communicating with people on social media, and this will bring problems into your home that unnecessarily you don't want. So don't make room for that. Communicate with one another in the house and see how you can deal with the problems.
Get rid of the elephant.
Yes.
Sometimes the elephant get too big
Hmm.
and you can't get rid of them too.
Well,
Yes.
you don't
It
allow
get,
it to
yeah.
get that big. That's
Don't.
what don't you don't allow it to
Exactly.
get that big. As you said,
Yes.
communication. Sit down, bring out the
Yes.
problems in the open,
Hmm.
and take care of it. Take care of it.
Yep.
And you were talking about values that we should instill in our children.
Yeah.
Can you expand a little bit on the values? I mean,
Sometimes we love to spoil our kids, but when we do that, we are setting them up to have problems and issues in their lives later on. And nothing is wrong in teaching them responsibility and independence. And like my kids, from a young age, I tell them you have chores, you have your
mhm.
schoolwork to do, but you have your chores. There's a specific time. So you're teaching your children morals, values, manners, discipline, respect. And I am proud of my children today because there are times like I could remember Mother's Day morning. My kids, they made a hot cup of tea, they made me breakfast and fruits, and they wrote postcards and stuff. And we are so close, like best friends, that I always tell them, in spite of, as a parent, you have to know when to draw the line, because you don't want to be too buddy buddy with your children, because there are times when you will be disciplining them, they will not take on, they will just do as they want. And you have to know, or else it becomes a problem. They start doing what they want, they start following bad company,
Right.
and it becomes an issue. So
You have to start from young.
yes, from young, you have them on a routine. You do things with them, but there's always borderline to everything.
Teach them their responsibilities from
Abilities.
young, and
Yes.
the manners and
Yes.
respect. That's
And
very
teach
key.
them to do things, allow them to do stuff in the kitchen, experiment. You don't want to be, your kids become big men and women and you're still taking out their food and the car cook, and. My son is 15 and he loves to cook. My daughter, she's there, she loves to clean and do nice things and upkeep the place. And I keep, as again, I teach them that when Sunday morning reach, they love to get dressed, go to the temple. I teach them values of other religions as well, because we do not discriminate. Sometimes people in different religions do stuff. You don't discriminate the religion. You judge a person based on what they do, you know?
And that value is being self-sufficient as well. That If they're hungry, they can cook.
Yes.
If the place is dirty, oh, mom might come home tired.
Yeah.
Let's clean up.
Clean up after
Yes.
yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
know, don't just drop your school shoes, drop clothes. You eat stuff, you just dump your dishes in the sink. Wash up after, clean up back. Nothing is wrong with that. Simple things gradually helps them to become better adults.
That's right. We have Miss Sankar watching. She said, "Hi, Vicky."
Hey, good
Probably your
night.
friend, or you know her. We have
Um,
Savitri Ramsamoja. Very good evening to you. Drew Sahadeo, I see you love this interview. Gina Ali, a very good evening to you. Thanks, guys, for watching. And share this to your friends and
Yeah,
your
shouted
family.
out Gina Ali from New Jersey, my buddy.
Oh,
She's a
really?
yeah, really nice individual. I'm fortunate to have her. So
She is fortunate to have you too.
thank
I'm
you.
sure she called you when the boyfriend or somebody or husband bother her. She could talk to you. Anyhow,
Yes.
but let's continue.
You know, your mom played
Yeah.
a great role in your life and she instilled those values in you.
Yes.
Today, today in this world, children, you know, they say one mother can take care of 7, 8, 9, 10 children, whatever children she have. And today's children, that they say even 10 children, they don't want to take care of that one mother or
Yeah.
that one father. And we see it every day. We see it every day. Not everybody, but that's part of growing old. And everybody has a life, and they do not want to take care of that one parent that really needs them.
Yeah.
How can we, talk, encourage these children that your parents, they were there for you when you were little, they brought you up, and you also have this, you should have this love and responsibility to help take care of them in their older age. But
Well, what I have to say, and that is what, regardless, sometimes when we grow older, we don't always have that good relation with parents. Sometimes we may have simple misunderstandings, but we do not take it to advanced levels. And what I say to children, never forget what your parents did for you. God gave you life, your mother brought you into this world. She carried you for that 9 months. Nobody knows. Everybody have a different experience when they are pregnant and going through that 9 months of changes to bring you out into the world. Sometimes they risk their lives. They are never the same again. And they do everything possible to make sacrifices for you to become successful in your life. Always remember what you went through as a child, what they did for you, and try to let that take its course in order to be able to take care of your parents, your mom, your dad, because again, some have been fortunate to have amazing parents. Some grew up with abusive parents, which I could say right now I kind of have an adopted son because of the abuse he went through with his parents. And I took him into my care. And to see how he, knowing that he grew up in such an environment like that. And I said to his mother, I said, you are fortunate to have a son like this. And at no time don't you ever say those things. God bless you. It have women out here who would grieve to have children, and unfortunately they don't have, they are unable to have kids. And the ones that is blessed with motherhood, they take advantage of it. So I see myself, God blessed me to become a mother. And every mother and father in this world, you are blessed. And every child, and the cycle keeps going on. So, put aside that, whatever you can do to put a smile on your parents' face and make them proud, you go for it.
But you know,
and especially if you have children,
Yeah.
if they go by example as well, treat your children well because karma can come around as
Yeah.
well.
but one of the things that I want to say too is that and I'm glad you said earlier, but as parents too, you have a responsibility to bring peace with your children
Yes.
and your grandchildren.
Yes.
It's not, and I hear people say it all the time that treat your mother good, yes, treat your father good, but I also, like you said, You have parents who are abusive, who treat their children bad. You have parents out there who just causing problem among children.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yes, yes.
And
So it is a 50-50 where sometimes we're fortunate to have blessed parents.
yeah,
We have parents out there who will do anything to keep their children down in life.
yeah, exactly. So, and even
Yeah.
siblings too. And that's why I like the idea that that you should respect your parents.
Yeah, regardless of
Um,
what, respect them.
give them what they need in life. But
Yeah.
sometimes I find that some parents, they are the big root of the problem in the family,
Oh, yes,
and
yes.
they go to Patsy house, they talk pansy name. They
Mm-hmm.
go Patrick house, and when they talk, it's all the children. They're
Yeah,
causing a
they
lot of
degrade their
problem.
kids.
Your own children.
Yeah,
Yes, sometimes parents cause this, as we're
yeah.
going to say. I'm going to ask
So it's
you.
a give and take situation
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
always.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
They,
just had to know how to deal with it.
the parents can cause sibling rivalry as well.
Yes.
And that's a very important
Hmm.
aspect of life,
Yeah.
of family,
Favoring.
of being
Hmm.
together, and
Yeah.
and unity in the family as well.
Yeah.
So sibling rivalry is very, very predominant
We
sometimes.
should probably do a show with you and us, siblings rivalry. I did a show before that, but since we got Miss Stalker here, and
Yeah,
you
that
and we
would
could
be
do
interesting
something
to do
nice.
that,
Yes.
because sometimes the parents pit the children against
Split,
each
Each
yeah.
other.
other.
They pit,
Definitely.
yeah, yes. So that
Miko,
Well,
would
in
who?
be
my
nice.
case, my mom always taught me to be equal. Even with my kids, I will tell them I love you both the same and I would make the sacrifice for you both.
Right.
There's nothing like I love you more or I love you less because you doing better, regardless of sometime. The two kids will never, two kids or three kids, how much? They will never be the same. But you have, as a parent, you pay same amount of attention to each one of them. Let them know that they are equally
And they feel
Love,
love.
loved.
equally love.
Yeah.
Correct.
And don't at no time put them against each other. Okay, if they are having misunderstanding, you as a parent be the mature, responsible one to talk to each of them one, each one, listen to their problems and find a way to solve the issue that is going on so it could help them to communicate.
Mess things up,
Yes.
patch things up. That's
Yes.
what the role of a parent
Yeah.
And that's the
should
root.
do.
That's the root of a lot of discussions. If you don't clear up the air, if you don't clear up that the environment, if that there's a problem, you don't clear that up. That's what it gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and comes to the point where it's impossible to clear it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from inception, if we do that, that would be a great. That's a great idea
We
to
had
clear it up.
30 something question for this young lady, but I think we got
I
to
think we gotta do
continue.
part two. We
We
gotta
gotta
do
do
a
part two.
part two. Yes.
Ask one question, then I'm gonna ask
I
another
want to
question.
ask her something that bothers me a lot too. Um, we,
Hmm.
it's about the, you're a singer, you're a dancer, and you're from Trinidad, and
I'm trying to get hot
we
in
like
here.
them chutney and all of
Yeah.
that, right? But I've seen you mention about performance vulgarity,
Yeah.
right? Is becoming a trend in our musical arena,
Yes.
and that I think that the artist should be setting a better example for the young
Oh,
ones coming up.
Do you
yes.
think too much rum in
So
the song, though? But go ahead and
I
talk.
have a whole thing about that, and that's a whole show by itself.
All right, we could do. Yeah, you could leave that, or we could do
But
one.
yes, what I would say, remember, we have teenagers, we have children, we have adults looking at you, female and male artists. Now, you are supposed to be role models, regardless. And I always say you sing song with motivational lyrics,
Mm.
right? Because I was approached some time ago to sing a song, and when they sent me the lyrics, I told them thank you, but no thanks.
Mhm.
Because I knew from the time I take that stage and my mouth open start saying those words, I instantly loses my respect. And I rather walk away, keep my respect and my dignity. That kind of fame I could do without. And what I want to say to some of the female artists out here, and I've seen them lately, I'm gonna call no names, but to female artists generally who are performing, you have young girls looking at you, regardless of your song. You don't need to have yourself half naked on a stage to get the attention. I believe you move with class, dignity, and respect, and you dress yourself appropriately, regardless. You will get the attention. You don't need to be in that sort of manner and that vulgarity, and you're gyrating and you're carrying on in such that way. What it is you're doing, you're just putting out a negative message. And when these girls, well, if she could wear it, that is my style, I could wear it like that too. And I always tell women, you wear specific clothes, and you have the male out there now. If they disrespect you, you look for it. If you carry about yourself in a specific manner, you won't have that problem. Nobody say you can't look nice, you know.
Oh, look at you. You well cover up, but you're still pretty.
Thank you. Right?
Hey,
So
as she
think
said,
about
you don't
it.
have to be half
Right, right.
naked
Yes, and
to
how
be
you
sexy.
express it. Yes, but class, long sleeve, a long sleeve, no matter what. Not
As,
everybody is the same.
as I say, you can
Mm.
always be classy and
Yes,
sassy at the
Mm.
same time.
exactly. So being outside on a stage, half naked, and you're carrying about yourself, you know what? Tell yourself as performers, I want to gain the respect and the love of the people out there, you know,
And
and
be an example.
be an example. And you don't have to sing. And there are singers who made it big, but they kept that respect and the dignity, and they never changed that style of dressing. And regardless of what. But then again, it's so unfair. It's like if you don't carry about yourself in a specific way, they're not going to take you on as a singer. And I will tell you something. My dream growing up, I wanted to become a singer.
Oh, really? It's
Yes.
not too late.
And I was not given the opportunity. And some people who approached me,
It's
they,
never too late.
the way they approached me and the things that they said, I said, you know what? I am contented with singing for God because I know He respects and He would love when I sing. And if I have to degrade myself in that manner to get a singing career, then that I'm fine with that. I will do without that. And I stick to that. But at no point in time will I compromise my respect to take a stage for fame and popularity to become an individual in that manner.
Who? I'm gonna ask you this question. Can you tell me two of your favorite singer in Trinidad? Um, b- guys, guy and a girl.
To be honest, I like soca artist Kes.
Oh, Kes. I
Kes.
hear. I see Kes
His
sexy.
lyrics, his song have good, powerful vibrations.
I heard, I was supposed to interview him by the way, but
Wow, nice. He's in New York. He had a show this weekend or something like that.
oh, okay.
I like Kes. I like his lyrics, his
You
songs.
ever met him before?
No, and I would love the opportunity to meet him
Oh,
one day.
really?
Definitely.
So we should try get him on the show.
We should,
Oh,
and you can come.
that would be awesome.
All right. So
Definitely.
we're gonna try
That's your
Yeah.
something.
homework.
Yeah, and when
Yeah.
you listen to his lyrics and the way his vibes and the music, it gets you in a happy mood. And this is something also when you listen to artists, you want to get a happy feeling. You're enjoying that
Yes.
music. You're vibrant, and you could be in whatever mood, and you hear these like Taurus Riley and certain songs. They say,
Right.
yes,
It gives you that hope. It gives you
yes.
that
And
warmth.
growing up as a child, honestly, I had liked Kanchan. And I even sang some of her songs and farewells and stuff. But again, I grew up singing religious songs. So, as I said, even though I didn't get the opportunity to go out there as a singer, and I would not change that, I am contented with singing qasidas and singing gospels and singing Ramayana songs. How I grew up, and I'm happy and I'm good.
I would love for you to come with me on the 29th to
Mhm.
the yachna that Pandit Ramdat has.
Uh,
Um, let's make a thing and I'll pick you up and we can go. I'll drop you back
yeah,
and you and your husband.
yeah.
And Ken, maybe Ken, you can come on the
I
29th,
could pick
right?
her up because
I've been
she's
Yeah.
fortunate to sing with Pandit Abedana and Pandit Lakshmidat Prasad Sharma from Trinidad, Pandit Munilal. I was fortunate enough to sing with them. Yeah.
So we have a date on the 29th,
Yeah.
right? And you're the chauffeur.
oh, I wouldn't be able to help you
Oh
on the
yeah, you
29th.
are going to.
There
Yes.
is a problem too. We got two shows on the same day. We got the award on the 29th, and then we have the Rad show on the 29th too. So it's a little problem. We got to see how we can start this off.
All right, we may be able to go another night, maybe the Thursday night or the
Yeah,
Friday night.
I will
We'll
definitely
go
go now.
one night
We'll go
before
one night.
when you
Yes.
Yeah.
also. The 29th, I have to be there, then I have to make my way to D-Raj's show as well. I'm talking about D-Raj show. Do you have some shout out
Yeah, I
on
don't have it
Jan
with me here, but
on the 29th of June? And oh gosh, we gotta find that.
Juliet Conja, good evening. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. And the beautiful Miss Anjani Olarte is watching. Zelina Mohammed is watching. Vicky, what you are saying is so true. Yes. I'm going to ask you why my co host is there. What are some of the things that you are passionate about, like women empowerment, um, domestic violence, rape? What are
Oh,
some of the I know those are big topics
yes.
that we could talk about another day. But if you can just go briefly and tell us what are some of the things that you're passionate about?
I'm passionate about motivating women to become better women. And I will tell all the women who are on this live, who are listening, we should be able to help one another, not degrade and judge each other. We never know what other women are going through in their life, and we tend to judge them without knowing that. And instead of doing that, if we could do something to help them inspire themselves and to become better women in society, then let us do that. Let us always motivate them to go, because sometimes we have single mothers, we have women going through abuse. They don't know who to turn to. And straight, they can't even turn to own family members. And as women in society, we must never degrade each other. We must never laugh at other women. Tell them they're beautiful, regardless of what. It's not about our physical appearance, the complexion of our skin. Every woman is beautiful in his or her way. And I want to say something to every woman, regardless whether you're educated or not. Every single woman in this world have a skill. Whether you could sing, whether you could dance, whether you could be a radio host, whether you could clean houses, regardless of what you take pride in what you do.
Whatever you do,
Whatever you do,
be
you
an
take,
artist. You can
yes,
be an artist in whatever
But
field you choose.
yes,
but you lucky, you pretty, you could sing, you could dance, you could clean, you could cook. Oh, by the way, I like that soup. The girl could slam a good soup, chicken soup. I know fish soup. When you're ready to sell, let me know. I would buy a portion from you.
Are you
Um,
gonna start catering?
I am thinking about it
All
actually.
right, so put it
Yeah.
out. Let's, yeah.
I just tried it as a hobby to see what, and I was like so amazed. I had people visit from Canada and they drove far to come to get that soup, and I was like
wow.
amazed with it. So everything I do, and this is something too, regardless of what you're doing, take passion in it. Whether you're a host, whether you're doing your makeup or you're singing, put love. Everything, put love in it.
I like when she said, "Listen, I want your soup."
A pinch of love
Yeah,
into
and
that goes
she said,
along.
man, you put your child Benny inside the there and thing. And so I said, wait, I got to get some of this, but I don't want it free. I want to buy it. So when you're ready to make a big pot soup, let us know. We can put it out on the radio.
I love soup too. So come to
Definitely.
me.
So,
I love soup too.
anybody, want some good Trinidad catering, just hook me up.
You could start
Sure.
talk now. What you could
Yes.
make?
Everything.
Oh
My mom taught me. So that is something I love too. You see, cooking? Oh my goodness, I love to cook. And I love when I cook and people could enjoy it and you see a smile on their face. That is all I need.
Aw, that's so cute.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mohammed Asghar. Say motivational Drupati Ram Gunai. Give me, give
Moti,
me moti. And Rewati
Ramruti,
Ramru can sing
real
real
good.
good. She can sing real good.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Yes, guys. Let me go back to Diraj Gairam. Diraj Gairam Entertainment presents on Saturday, June 29th. Nalini, it's not July 29th, it's June 29th. From the heart, it's so small I can barely see it here. But it's a fundraising event. It's a medical outreach, and there are going to be top-notch artists on board. So Ken is going to be there. I'm going to be there as well, and we have I can't see all the artists here, but we have Shanti Singh, Shanaz, um,
Jumping Jack.
oh yeah, my partner Jumpin' Jack, and several artists, very um, top-notch artists are going to be there, dancers, singers, MCs. So come on out from now. Save the date. We will give you the entire information, and we will be posting the information on Facebook. We
Mohammed.
have Farouk the Irishman, Jumpin' Jack, Shanti Singh, okay, Diraj, dancers, and the admission for this is only $40, and you can contact us for tickets, right?
Yeah, I have some tickets.
Mhm.
Yes,
You
that's
can
right.
contact either Ken or myself for tickets. So save the date for now, and we will touch bases again next Monday.
That's right. That's right. Are you a religious person or a spiritual person? Do you believe that you have to go to church?
No, I I wouldn't condemn, but once you have God in your heart, you don't need to enter a church, a mosque, a temple. God will listen to your prayers once you are pure and true on what you're saying and how you feel. You don't need to go to a temple because sometimes you're going to temple, there, temple, mosque, or church. There you find the most gossip. People will not come there to concentrate on what is in front the altar, but who is wearing what and how they look and how the food tastes and how the building structure is.
Langwater food.
Long, yeah. You understand? And the purpose you're there. And sometimes I remember going to places and going to the temple. And my mom actually is the caretaker of the temple. She goes, she take care of the murtis and stuff. And she handles the kitchen. And she let those ladies know, here, we here for a purpose. No gossip. Absolutely none. This is not the place for it.
She set the tone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So from the
mom.
time she find they going a little astray, she pulls on them one time. And this have been going good, and there's absolutely no confusion and pulling and tugging going on, and everything has been working smoothly. And I tell mom, I said, I have been in the temple, been to the church, been to the mosque, and you go up to that altar to pray. And sometimes your concentration break because you know why? So many of them sitting down there, and you could feel the negative
The
energy.
virus.
Look how she looking. I wonder where she get that. I wonder where, like that, and that breaks your concentration. So when you see it comes to God and spirituality, you want to be at peace. You want to be able to communicate with God. You want to have that peace of mind, and nothing breaks your concentration on what your focus on what you want to say to God. So you could be on the road walking, you could be in your home, you could be driving on the road, and I will have conversations with God. I will play my religious music firstly when I enter my vehicle. Hanuman Chalisa, Aganesh uh,
Imagine.
Bhajan, Lord Shiva, I go in turns, and after that I go play any other music. But it have to be conscious music with good lyrics. I don't really, unfortunately, listen to much of the chutney music because I find, to be honest, some is a little too ridiculous, and we could do better. Trinidad and Tobago and other countries throughout, we have everybody. That's why we have so much talented people. But what we using the talent to do? Let us use it to create more positivity than negativity and stupidity out there. Yeah.
You know, that's so true. That's very true. I find that I like to go to mandirs sometimes, but I mostly go when there's a big event like
Yes.
Shivratri or Ram
Right.
Navami,
Yeah.
and I'm not a regular
Sunday
Sunday
person.
goer,
Yeah.
but I've seen what you said, and that is so very true. And we have to keep. What are we going to the mandir for? It's not a gossip. It's to pray and to learn, a little bit more about religion. And I want to say hats off to your mom. Kudos to your mom. She seemed like a very well grounded woman.
Well,
Hope she will
everybody
watch
Raising
say
a
this.
daughter
everybody say
like
I'm just
you,
a
having
younger spitting image of my mama. Yeah.
yes,
Pretty too.
yes. So the next thing that I want to say, talking about religion,
Mm.
right? Some people are taking religion to a different level, saying that they're prophets and trying to do.
Yes, yes. Uh,
Trying
mm-hmm.
to their prophets that they can do this for you or
Yeah,
they
they
can
can
do
do
that
that.
for you.
Yeah.
And what do you say about that?
Firstly, I have to say God didn't bring us into this world to teach us to criticize other people. Regardless of what you are, whether you're Muslim, Hindu, or Christian, you do not criticize, you do not condemn. A child of God never condemns. You respect people, even if you're not part of it. You do not you do not throw out discrimination. Let people be. If you want to help somebody, you don't ask them what religion they are. You genuinely want to help somebody, you help them. And what you do, you pray. Now I'll tell you something. I've learned the Surah, Fatiha, and I respect it. I know the Lord's Prayer. I know all my mantras. And regardless of who comes to me and they want, and I would specifically say a prayer for them,
You can hold their hands and say a
say a
prayer.
prayer. And that is the love.
Hmm.
And when you do that, then how could you call yourself a child of God or a follower of God and you do this? No. That is where racism, that is where so much envy and enmity comes because, and one thing I would say, you see, sometimes when people degrade your religion, you could stand up and say, no, this is wrong. But don't degrade back the person religion. Don't do it. Deal with it in a better manner. But stand up and defend what are your
What you
beliefs.
believe, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And you can also accept what they are. At the end of
Yeah.
it, I believe God is one. We call them
Yes.
by different names,
Names.
but I do believe
Yeah.
God is
So
one.
no child of
To
God
my
will
children,
discriminate.
I'm mama.
Yeah.
To other people, I'm auntie. To
Yeah.
other person, I'm ma. I
Yes.
am
Yeah.
a wife or
Mhm.
whatever, different names, but I am
Mhm.
me. It doesn't
And that's
matter.
very profound what you said.
Yeah.
Respect each other religion
Yes.
and don't attack each other religion.
No. No.
We gone
Accept.
half past 10 o'clock, but
Yeah, we are past 10. I just, we have to bring you back on, Vicky,
we will
because
continue the
time
rest when we
time
come back.
just time just
Yeah, I
flew
didn't
from us
realize the
there.
time
Thank
It's
you.
10
just.
o'clock already.
My
But
God.
before we go, I just wanted to
Yeah.
ask you one more thing. I know your mom has been your role model,
Yeah.
and most of the advice you're giving, you learned from your mom, and you're
Yes.
telling us to us. But what is the best piece of advice you ever had? Your mom or not your mom?
My mom.
From your mom.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What she
All
tell
What
you?
is
What
the
she
best?
say?
What is the best piece of advice she ever gave you?
always be contented and humble in everything that you do. And be peaceful. And whatever you put your mind to do, you do it with happiness and you do it with love. Whatever you give, whatever you say, it must always be the best that somebody will gain something from that. But at no point in time do you put down a person in life, regardless of what. Don't do that. Give them hope, give them encouragement, and smile.
The girl from Borough.
And that is the advice you would like to give to each
Yes.
and every one of our viewers out there, and whoever is going to watch this program tomorrow or next week or whatever, right? So, time is of essence, I believe. So, I just want to ask you to what are some of the challenges you had to overcome so far? In
Challenges that I've overcome, definitely financial challenges. I've overcome bullying in school, sexual harassment. I was attacked twice, and it was coming a norm till I could remember sitting in my living room one night. I came home from work and they were bandits and they
oh
couldn't
my,
get in. I was like,
oh my God.
not tonight. You guys better get out of here because do not get me angry and I come out there. Not going to be
Oh
nice.
God. The training you come out, the Borough girl. Oh
Yes.
God.
And that's why I say sometimes the advantage you go through in life, the disadvantage, it gets you speaking and standing up because there's so much you can take.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
time to stand up for
stand
yourself.
stand up for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. And
And
people respect you more. They know their limits with you.
I just got two more questions for
Uh-huh.
you. Yeah. If you can change one thing about your personality, what would it be?
I don't think I wanted to change anything about my
Perfect as you are.
personality.
She's sweet
Yes.
like honey already. Look at
Yes.
she.
Mm.
And what do you do for relaxation? What's your hobby?
Honestly, relaxation for me is just spending time with my kids and my husband and doing things he love and doing things
Oh
the kids
God.
love. That just this time spending with them, doing things that they like, and yes, I compromise always for my family, but it makes me happy to see them happy. So once they're happy, that's all I need.
You gonna make me ask my wife tonight the same question.
That's all I need. Seeing them happy, that that's my
Let
contentment.
me ask, can I bring my wife and ask her what makes her happy? Oh God, boy, is Warren Arima. Arima. Anyway, go ahead.
Mm.
All right, Ken. I think we have to have another program
Oh, yeah, we're gonna
soon.
yeah,
Another
yeah.
program soon. But before we go tonight, this has been a very interesting conversation, and the viewers are very, very happy and pleased with what you had to say. So, I
Yes.
think by unanimous decision, you have to be back, not maybe once more, but many times more, right?
I thank you guys so much. I
Mhm.
really appreciate it. And as I said, once I can help people and they understand where I come from and what are my intentions, and they could see themselves growing and learning from it, that gives me contentment and I'm happy. I'm always happy to be here. So you
All
just
right.
call on me.
You are
All
very
right.
inspirational, so we
Thank
want
you
to
so
keep
much.
you. We want to keep you on board. I just want to take a very quick break for some shout out. First of all, a happy fifth anniversary to Island Zone Radio. Then the man behind it, DJ Fest, also known as Ryan Jeffrey, and to all the in-house DJs, the hosts and the hostesses, and of course our very own team manager, Rowena Lal, all the way from Fort Lauderdale, but she is on top of it every time. Also, screaming happy birthday to your son, Ken Jr., Ken Rampasad, and your sister, Anita Dowlatram, all the way in Canada. Our very own Patricia Raghunandan, and her son, Rajendra, who also had a birthday a couple of days ago. We also want to shout out happy birthday to my cousin Mandy Singh Ram in Fort Lauderdale, my cousin Malini Sarju in Orlando, and a shout out to all of you who are celebrating your birthday this week. So Ken, this weekend was a pretty hectic weekend for you as well. And I don't want to leave without asking you because last Friday you attended a very nice ceremony, a little ceremony out in Long Island, I believe. And what was that all about?
Well, I'm gonna make it very short. I'm so glad that you know, I was invited. I was invited to this occasion, something like this, quite some time, but I never made the time to go. But this last time, I said Friday, I said let me go, represent. And thank God I did. I'm so glad that Long Island they're putting us into their inviting us to their community and to celebrate Guyana and the Caribbean. Um, with them. So that's a great thing. When you get counted anywhere, it's a great thing.
That's beautiful. I wish I could have gone with you, but
Oh God, the food
Friday
was
was
good
my
too.
surgery day.
Oh yes, I
Yeah,
know.
so
Yes.
that's why I couldn't go. And just a little bit of let's go to a little bit of the Guyana news that yesterday operations at the Chetty Jagan International Airport were down due to incoming flights were diverted to other jurisdictions, some of them to Trinidad, some to Puerto Rico, and wherever they could go. Also, the outgoing flights were delayed, and it was all due to an intense rainfall with thunder, lightning, and everything in the Timeri area yesterday afternoon. The storm damaged several GPL and the CJIA transformers, making the airport inoperable. As of today, the system was restored and the diverted flights are returning to Guyana to drop off their passengers. Some of the people are saying it's an act of nature, while other people are saying that in 2021 there was $518 million spent on instrumental landing system, extended runway commission at the CJIA, and they're asking the question why did the backup fail, right? People want to know why did the backup fail. They're asking if airway tower control had power to divert the planes to alternate airports. Why did they have no backup power for the runway lights? They asked if the imported Cuban electrical engineers are still having a language barrier, if that's a problem that happened. Yes. And others says that they found the transformers during the storm. They found the transformers and the batteries submerged in the flood, but they couldn't find the floodlights because it was hidden in the long grass that overtook everything, you know. So I gotta say, it's time for me to tell them boys pull out the cutlass and start reading because they can't find the flashlights there. Some are worried, and some people got worried that what would have happened if the plane was in landing mode at the time that the the lights went off, right? So that is one of the issues. Do you
Yeah,
have
you
anything on
know,
that?
Radhika, listen, I'll just put it simple. Everything that I see happen is the government fault. That's what people are saying. And I don't like that because you know what? We have national tragedy around the world. In the United States, this is a great big country. We get flooding, we get tornado. You can't blame government for these kind of things. When rainfall happens, we can't blame the government for that. Look, I am so mad right now that every time the rain falls hard, my garage gets soaked inside. I cannot blame the government for the rain. I have to, and this hope next 2 weeks, I could go and find a solution for this problem. So, listen, I cannot, in Dubai flooded, absolutely. So I'm not going to blame any government for this. But go ahead. I know we.
Yeah. I know we're going on time now, and so I just want to say, everybody, y'all remember Father's Day coming up,
Oh, yeah.
right? Father's Day is coming up right around the bend, so get your gifts early. And at this time, I'm just going to. Do you want to say something before we end? Something?
Just want to say thank you so much to you guys for having me here. It's been an honor, and hopefully we get to have more discussions, and it will motivate and help others around throughout wherever they are watching, and we could give them that advice and guidance to be better individual, better mothers and fathers, brothers, sisters, better human beings in life. So, guys, just continue to stay positive, be strong, and sit down and think about what you want to do for your life and how you want to, spend your older days, your senior years, and you work towards it. You keep that motivation. And no matter how much people try to put you down, let it go through one ears and let it come out through the other ears. You smile and you just keep that focus going strong.
All right, Mohammed Askar, we prepare something for you next week. We have a 5 minute act that we got to do for her, right? And we're not doing Obia this time.
Oh, no, we got to. We're supposed to do something. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So yes. So guys, it has been a pleasure. V, it has been an honor and a privilege having you here
Thank you so
on
much.
the show today, and we are looking for to
Definitely.
more episodes with you.
Yeah.
It's a learning process, no matter that. I think we are both older than you,
Yes.
but it has been educational for us as well.
Yeah. I'm glad.
And
I'm glad.
yes, so we are looking forward to working with you more. And
Thank
of
you.
course, eating some of that soup, right?
Well, I
Getting
want
some
to.
of the soup.
You know what I will tell her? Well, first, I want to say, everything happened at the right time. That so long we supposed to have this interview,
Yeah.
but I'm so glad that you came in and you spoke so eloquently. And you're such a brilliant young girl. I'm so proud of you
Thank you
with your
so much.
personality, with your knowledge base,
Yeah.
and with people like you. This world is a better place. And I'm glad too that we're gonna leave this baton in your hands so that you will continue your great job, continue to be an inspiration, and definitely you're sitting here, you're talking, and I'm looking like how can we bring you a part of all of this, even on my show. You don't have a show by myself. So hey, you never know what's daddy's thinking. I'm daddy. I always say I'm daddy. So
Definitely.
I'll definitely on. You got both shows. You got one with us, and then one by myself. So definitely we will use you to share your knowledge because when we started this show, both of us share the same sentiments like
Right.
you do. We
Good.
want to uplift our people, we want to help
Yes.
them, and to share our blessings too, because we are all blessing in our own way.
Of course.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I am so proud of Mama, and she did a great job in raising you. And I'm so glad too that you know, Ataka too. And I'm so glad that you are passing that baton on to your children.
Yes.
Your husband is a blessed man that he found a diamond. It took him 15 years to find a piece of diamond, but Jesus of Nazareth, it's a polished diamond he picked up here. And so to your husband, thank you very much, and I hope that you know, you all continue to love each other. And the next time you come here, I'll tell you a week or two before so we could have some fish broth
Oh, yes,
on the
definitely.
show.
Yes, we'll make arrangements to have some little cooking, you know? Yeah.
So thank you very much. And Radhika,
Thank you
thank you.
so
I know.
much.
All right, guys. Thank you all for joining us this lovely evening. As always, we're looking forward for next week. See you again, once again, 8:30 next Monday evening. We will be here and looking forward to all of you.
Yes.
So let's see. As always, God bless your hearts and all your other vital parts. See you next week.
You're watching From Our Hearts with Radhika and Ken on Island Zone Radio. I have a nice song that I like too, and she's from Trinidad, and I think she liked this song. So, one of our favorite songs on this show. Um, I don't know why it's the Hi, my dear Nafisa Noor. A very good evening to you. Thank you very much for tuning in. I forgot to say hello to you earlier, but thank you so much, and I pray that God will bless you and would bless your son too. God is good. Don't worry. Chitra Rabindranath, a very good evening to you. Thank you very much.
And
You,
Celeste too. Hi, Chitra.
yes, and I'm sure definitely we will have much more of this coming on soon, and I'm waiting um, for this
Ad.
ads so that this song could play, but I don't know why it's taking so long to play. You know, again, I want to say thanks to all of you for tuning in tonight. I know we went a little bit overboard, but that's all right. It was a lot of wisdom that was shared tonight. This thing is taking too long, so we may just have to go, and it's not moving.
I think it's stuck.
All right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
See you next week.